welcome to Eric and Linda live on Tuesday. It's about 6:06. I know we're running a few minutes late, but you gotta love technology. It is great. Sometimes it works like 99.9%, but when it don't, it starts to act up. But it's all good. We're here. We're still here. It's a blessing to be here. I'm Eric.
And I'm Linda. And I think, better late than never, really. We're here and it's Tuesday and I feel blessed.
Yeah.
God is good.
Yeah.
So welcome to our Eric and Linda live show. We're out here in Tracy, California. We run a co-working or shared workspace in the old Tracy outlets, 10,000 square foot worth of space, looking to expand even.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else can I say about it? We were doing this live show for over a year now, and we started off doing it for half an hour. At the end of 2020, we met Shell T.
Yeah.
She helped us even do our, what was it? It was our finale show.
Yeah, she did.
And she thought of some new things to spice it up. And look, we're here for an hour now. We got commercials. We get to play this game. And I'll tell you more about the game later. But thank you, Shelty. I know you're out there listening. Thank you for helping us. And all these commercials are produced by her.
Yep.
And so wanted to make sure I gave my shout out to her as well.
Yeah, she's definitely a blessing. I mean, we always talk about her. Some of you guys may be like, who is Shelty? Check her out. She's on social media. She's doing her own thing. She does a lot of stuff for a lot of people. Really powerful woman. And if you like what you see, reach out, touch her, say holla at her. She'll put her information in the chat, I'm sure. So that way you guys can contact her. But she is phenomenal. And this, adding on to what Linda talked about at Workvine, remote workspace, we talk about it all the time. This is something that we have a passion and a desire to do. We're not just a co-working space where people come and work, but we also do a lot of collaborating. And with the different businesses that we work with, we always try to introduce and find ways to connect other entrepreneurs and small businesses to work with one another and build synergy and create, something powerful. And so, working with entrepreneurs are great and I love it. And I have a great time. But we also do, and I'm going to give a plug out to us as Hawkins homepage. We do real estate too. I really never talk about the real estate side because we're on Workvine, but shoot, that's what we do also. My wife right now she's hot in real estate. She's doing a lot of deals and it's exciting because then she's going to bring home the bacon.
No, but you know what? We do all this in Workvine.
Yeah.
So we do our real estate in Workvine because we're co-working, we're shared workspace. So we operate our real estate out of there and we also operate our nonprofit.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that we are very passionate about, and that's helping the youth learn technology. And we didn't stop there. We teach adults now, and we work with other organizations like WorkNet and SIRS and do internships. So we do a lot at Workvine and wear many different hats, but we're blessed that God has given us all these different avenues to help other people. So we help people in business, we help people in our nonprofit, and of course we help people find a home or sell their home in real estate. And that's all in, God is our foundation. So he makes it all happen.
It is. You also forgot, and I'm plugging us today. I don't know. This is an Eric and Linda plug today. I'm sorry, but we're going to hear it all because it's helping the community. Another thing that we're working on, and we're giving away 500 backpacks and school supplies next week. So go to our nonprofit page. I'll drop that in the chat too. This is probably like our 10th year where we give away backpacks, school supplies. A few years we gave away, 150 computers. We do donate computers to families or kids who don't have the tools that they need for education. And so we're all about helping community and bridging the gap of the underserved communities. And even people, they may be kids just don't have the technology that they need. And so we're all about community and helping people. And so, it seems like a lot.
It is a lot. Well, we are dropping 500 backpacks. Well, 400 backpacks this week because school starts next week. Can you believe school starts next week for us in our county? So wow, time just flies.
Yeah, it does. It does. And then you know what? During the show, we have this game. It's called the
Numbers
Numbers
Up
Up
game,
game.
yes.
Yeah.
So you'll pick a number 1 through 50. The closest number without going over is the winner. The first person who picks that number is the owner of that number. And this week it says $10 Amazon gift card, but this week it's $20 because I believe we didn't have a winner last week. No, we didn't. So it's $20 this week, but you must be present to win.
Yeah.
I am also excited about our guest. It's so funny because I put it out a day or two before our live show, and one of my friends hit me up and said, "Hey, you're interviewing my friend," and I was like, "Yes, we are interviewing your friend." So it is getting out there, and I'm excited to have him on our show. He has some wonderful things going on too with what he's doing, and so I can't wait for him to share that. And Eric's going to introduce him.
Yeah. But I want to say, what's up, Annette? She's all the way from Nashville,
Tennessee.
Oh yeah,
thank you for joining us.
Thank you for being part of our show. And Leo,
what's up, he was
dog?
On our show too, and we enjoyed him too. Thanks for being on our show, Leo. We got another person that's on the radio too, so listen to what he has to say. But we are
gonna go to commercial break.
Yes, to commercial, and when we get back, we'll have Eric introduce him.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. Okay, so we're running behind, and I want to just catch up on this first segment. And I'm going to have Eric introduce our guest speaker, or guest of our show today.
Guest of our show, man. And he was born and raised over in San Diego. I'm not sure if he was raised there, but I know he's from San Diego. But he got 5 boys, and kind of made me say, man, 5 boys. And he has a program. He's a producer, and he's a writer, producer. He does some hip hop, gospel. I mean, he does a lot. I'm going to just bring him on because he's doing a lot of things with the young men. Let's welcome Craig Carlisle.
Yes.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Hey, how you doing, Craig?
Outstanding. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Did I get that right? I called you a writer.
Well, you know, I'm a writer, yes, because I've yet to publish. And after we publish later this year, I will be an author. So writer is good.
All right.
All right. That's good. Let's get it down right there. Creator, producer, host of Rising Men Show. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that Rising Men.
Raising Men.
Raising Men.
Yes.
Raising them.
Well, Raising Men is a concept that started probably about 12 or 14 years ago when my wife was alive. We were talking one day and she was like, man, we are raising all these boys. What are we going to do? And I think at that time we had like 3, maybe 4. And I was like, we're not really raising boys. We're raising men, and we have to really change our mindset of how we parent based on what, how we think of them. And if we think of them as boys all throughout their life, they'll always be underdeveloped men. So she kind of liked the idea. She went out and got a license plate, spelling it the RZNGMEN, and it was the kind of the mantra we were running by as a family for so many years. And then after she passed away, it just became this kind of a natural community group for us to keep ourselves under control, keep ourselves positive and motivated. And I always wanted to help men, better husbands, better fathers, no matter what their circumstances that they found themselves in. So it became our rallying cry.
Wow, that's really good, man, because men need other men.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the Bible says iron sharpen iron. If you don't have somebody on your side, on your back, giving you the right advice, not someone who's saying, "Oh, it's okay, man, go ahead," but telling you the real,
Yeah.
right? That's what we need, man. I thank you for, doing this. I know you have the show and you have the Raising Men. So is the Raising Men, is that a nonprofit, or is this just an organization that you run?
Right now, it's just a limited partnership right now, and it's an organization we run. We are working on getting it to become a nonprofit. That is the goal. And it's currently the parent company for all of the ventures that my sons and I are doing. The Framework falls under that. Remnant Media falls under that, and anything that we're really trying to champion and push forward as a group is all going to fall under that Raising Men umbrella. So it's going to be
So
all things.
what happens on your Raising Men show? What do you do on there?
Well, it's funny. We've just actually turned a corner. When I first started that back in 2015, we were or I was actually on there by myself, just trying to help men who found themselves in a situation like mine where they lost their spouse and they were trying to raise kids. And a lot of times men are found that people don't think we can do anything, or they sell us short. And honestly, in so many cases, men don't do what we should be doing because we choose to do other things where true most of the time the women are running the household, but a lot of times we as men, we come home and we kick our feet up and we don't do the things that we should be doing to help out our families and help out our wives. But when we found out that my wife was sick and later going to pass, and she spent almost 6 months in the hospital, I didn't have any choice but to do the things to be, you know, quote unquote mother and father to my children. But I'd always been a present dad. I'd always been a cook. I'd always washed and ironed. In fact, I was ironing her clothes better than she ironed her own clothes. So for me, it was never a problem to do any of these things because my mom raised me to do such a thing. And so for me, it was not a problem. But we wanted to make sure that, well, I should say it this way, you don't know what you can do until you're faced and forced to have to do it. So when she passed, and on the year leading up into her passing, the Lord was allowing me to understand what was needed, what was required, and I got a chance to take care of a segment of the grieving during that 11-month period.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Well, that is so true. Like you really don't know until you get to that point of
Yeah.
what you can, what it takes and how to handle it until you're faced with that. My condolences to you. Must be, I know you're probably still trying to you never forget. You never, it's always so present, but you can change that grieving into doing some change, helping other people. And that's what I'm hearing that you're doing. And that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
It is a part of the healing portion of helping
Yeah.
other people
Yeah.
and sharing your experiences with others, because more times than somebody is going through the exact same thing that you're going through, and helping someone along the way is paying it forward.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. I mean, that's powerful, but it also, allows you to just help men to be able to see, right, what you went through and the power and the strength that you have to continue and to be able to help even someone like me who hasn't been through it to take a second look at myself and say, man, I mean, I have my wife here, and so we shouldn't take those things for granted. So, man, I applaud you for doing
Yes.
the Raising Men show. So, can you tell us a little bit about like the topics you guys talk about on the show?
Well, like I was saying, we've really turned the corner on that show. So for the first probably 5.5, 6 years, that's all we talked about was with healing, grief, loss, whatever. And then I got into the Lord gave me into writing devotionals. So I wanted to really help people become motivated and get closer to God. And then about 6 months ago, he really challenged me to get my younger sons involved in the program. I have
Okay.
5 sons, like I said, and my oldest is in Arizona, so it has not been practical at the moment to get him involved in the program on a regular basis, but we're working on that. Our desire is that my 5 sons and I are on the program regularly, and my youngest 4 have joined me on the program. They've been with me on the show for consistently the last 2 months, weekly, and we talk about initially our story because I was thought it was important to hear their view on loss, where they are now in this 8th year without their mother. And then the topics have turned to things that we just did. What are we afraid of? And we talked about those things as being, as young men to, an older man as to what we're afraid of and not afraid of. And then the goal really is to allow them to talk about world issues, community issues from their perspective. And mine's going to be different. And so will theirs because their ages are 13, 15, 16, 17, and 26. So they're going to hit a wide variety of maturity levels, talking about a wide variety of current and past topics. So that's where we go. And I don't want to shortchange them and try to force them into something that I want them to say. I want them to feel the freedom to speak their minds.
Wow.
Wow.
That's good. That's good. I know, man, we got the framework too.
Yes.
We want to talk about.
Yes, definitely. So I'm going to ask you another question about how it's working with your children and on the show, but we're going to go to commercial break. So be prepared to answer that question when we get back.
All right.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here with Craig Carlisle. And so my question to you before we went on break is, how is it working with your sons on your radio show?
Well, I got to be 100 with you. It can be terrifying because I'm not giving them any rules to censor themselves by.
Yeah.
So they could say anything. Now, I have to trust the parenting and the groundwork that have been set. They're not going to say anything just totally outlandish, but they're going to speak their mind and they're not going to really just kind of sugarcoat it for you. And they're going to find their way. And as we became together, we kind of found our groove. And I tell you what, they're saying a variety of things that I just love. And I'm learning so much as a parent because when you allow your children to have a safe place to speak their mind and just share openly without judgment, they'll feel more safe and open to share and actually tell you what's on their minds. We've been getting a lot of good feedback from other parents that we're really helping people with just their candid responses. And I'm learning so much more about them. When we were talking about our past and their experiences with grief and just the memories that we all shared from different perspectives about when their mother was sick to when she passed, and even before, we found that there were so many holes in our memory that each one of us coming together was able to help us fill. And that was so beneficial and helpful to me. But I tell you what, as we go on, they'll say some things where I'm like, okay, don't say that. Don't you said it. But we laugh and we roll through it. But they don't say anything that they don't want to hear back in other places. And they understand the platform that we're on a Christian radio station in Virginia. And so they've been taught that there's certain things that you say, and then there's certain things that you say in a way that's still respectful.
Wow. Wow.
Absolutely. You know, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I think too, in this day and age, the kids nowadays or the young adults, they do speak their mind and they speak it freely, more so than when I was growing up. I would be I don't know. I would hold back a lot of stuff. I wouldn't speak so freely. And I think it's just that age group where they're just more open. And I like it because they're vulnerable and they put themselves out there, and they're actually really prepared to respond. So whatever they put out, they're already prepared to respond to whatever comes at them. So they're like they're an intelligent group of young
Adults,
adults.
yeah. I think too is a lot of times as parents, we see them as kids until they cross over to that point, and our mindset is still kid. But now they're starting to mature, and we have to learn how to start taking a step back and respecting that their decisions that they have to make. And you said it best. You set the groundwork, right? You set that foundation. So, they're always going to come back to it. And I like that point that you said. So, yeah.
Well,
Definitely.
the word's true still, right? If you train up a child in the way you used to go, when they're old, they won't depart from it. I
Right.
think we find that as parents, sometimes we don't either trust the process or we don't do the proper training. And so, if we're not having training day every day, you don't know what's going to come out of our kids' mouth because they're still listening to us because they know what's coming out of our mouths. And so we're worried about hearing our words come back, then we really ought to watch our mouth and watch what we say. So,
Yeah.
I couldn't just jump into doing the raising men show and having my sons there. I had to create this atmosphere where we've had some of these hard conversations prior to the show. So I've had to hear some things that I was like, ooh, but I couldn't show the ooh face. I had to
Yeah.
go, if I told them they have a safety or safe place, I have to take it. I have to walk the walk that I talk about. I can't be fake because this Jen and Z, they know what's fake and what's fraudulent.
Right.
And they,
Yeah.
like you mentioned before, they want to be heard.
Yeah.
And if we're not allowing them to be heard genuinely, we're going to lose them. And
Yeah.
I don't want to lose them. I want to keep them safe and let them know that they can grow and be who they are.
Yeah. Yeah. Rose Clemens, she said that's truly awesome. Young men and young adult men really need that. Too many of them don't know how to express themselves or deal with their feelings in a positive way. So, yeah, that's really
Yeah,
good.
that is really good. And, I really feel too that it's important for young men um, to have a male figure, a positive male figure, if it's not their father, an uncle, a big brother, or something, because men do need other men to learn from. I mean, I remember raising my son, and he was mostly around women all the time. And so he would be like, I don't know, he was just stuck with all of us. And then my husband would come in and he's like, no, stop playing with that Barbie doll, and you need to come and go
Well,
fishing with me. And then he put him in football, and and now that he's 25, him and his dad have a really close relationship, and that's because he was active. He was an active male figure father in his life, and
yeah,
so I think it's just so important, and we allow him to have a platform to speak freely.
yeah,
And sometimes we don't agree with, because we're the age gap, like you said, there's a big age gap. So sometimes we're not in agreement, but we support and respect what he says, and vice versa with him and us.
yeah. Wow. That's
You
good.
just do it live. Now I would be a little nervous to do a radio show live with my kids, because
Well,
I think my facial expressions will be like,
we're not live yet, so we're
oh, okay.
pre-produced. So we'll do our show at the house, and right now we're doing is purely audio. So I'm not quite. Well, see, you actually confirmed. I've been talking about doing video with it for probably the last month, and I just haven't executed. And I just talked to the kids about doing it, and they were like, "Sure, Dad, let's go." And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Go
let's
live. Go
go."
live, man.
Or
Yeah,
at least do a video, because people like to see people.
yeah,
And they want to associate who that person looks like that's speaking, and do at least do start off video. But if you want to go live, that's even better. People like to see real life
yeah,
truth, authentic, not rehearsed
yeah.
shows.
Well, that's
So
us.
yeah,
Yeah,
just
that's
do it. Shelty talked us into an hour, and I'm like, okay. But anyways, Shelty, it's time to take
it's time for us to take a break
break.
real quick. But
Yes.
remember the number up game. Put your number in from 1 to 50. The closest without going over is a winner. Today is a $20 Amazon gift card. No one won last week, so make sure you guys put your numbers in, and we're gonna come right back. I'm gonna actually, when we come back, I'm gonna actually show something that you produce. How about that? So the people can check out. He's also a producer, so we're gonna check it out right after this commercial, or right during this commercial.
Because God said, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen.
I once was in prison, but I'm not an ex-con.
8 years without her father for something I didn't do. She's been writing me these letters in prison, talking like God's some type of superhero.
And I'm still a mess.
I want to see the hat.
What's the hat?
McDonald's hat, Burger King hat, hot dog on a stick hat. Just smile. Just put on that hat.
They loved me, they did, and I'm still a mess.
Second chances.
This neighborhood could be just a little bit rough around the edges. I need to know if I can trust you.
Welcome to the new job, man.
Thank you, man.
Julio, July. This is Manny, our projectionist.
Say Reese's Pieces again.
Reese's Pieces, man.
Reese's Pieces. I like it.
English, man. What do you want?
If you and I are gonna do business, I need complete transparency.
Yo, man, I just finished the inventory. I just need the keys to... Yo, what's this?
They got me in that van with those canisters.
What type of product you got me delivering?
Kitchen drugs from block to block.
Hey, you better relax, homeboy. You know what I'm saying?
Hi, this is Agent Thurman. I can prove Escalante has the intent and the resources to go national.
In this particular neighborhood, Escalante's got ties, but I need you to help me.
Hey, yo, Chris, tell your boy he keeps digging. He might find just enough dirt to get buried.
I lost everything for something I didn't do. What type of God is gonna watch a man get up on his feet and then kick him right back down and get drugged through the dirt again? Right now,
Talk to him just like you're talking to me.
Where have you been, kid? These people take communion from me. I am their God.
Feel like you're wandering, no aims, no accomplishments. Life's passing by, gotta make something out of it. And every time the clock tick, you'll be so reminded how time flies, but you ain't in the cockpit. Cause Mondays it's right back to that workplace where you hate it, but you gotta get paid.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here with Craig Carlisle, and he is the executive producer of that film that we just saw on our commercial break. And I watched the movie, and I was like on the screen, and it was a great movie. It was a good. Get that movie. Watch it. Yes.
Check it out. Restore Me.
Your next time of your movie night, watch that movie. It's really. Where can we get that movie again?
All of your digital outlets, all of your online on-demand sources.
I think we did it through Netflix, maybe.
I can't remember.
No, maybe
Well,
not.
we definitely, it's on iTunes as well.
I
Your
streamed
local cable
it, though.
provider for sure.
Okay, iTunes. Well, look it up. Restored Me.
Yes, Restored Me. I do want to give a shout out to the woman in the background. Shelty was a part of that as well. And so, man, it was a good movie. And I like the character of the wife too. Sorry, because you know it takes a strong woman to we're the backbone of that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Where do you see?
Right.
Where can we get it? You said
you can from your cable provider in their online area, also with iTunes, and you should also be able to find it on Amazon.
Amazon.
Yes.
Maybe that's where I got it. Amazon.
Yeah, I think you got
All
it
right.
from Amazon.
Get it at Amazon. So let's talk about the man. We're probably gonna run out of time before all your titles, man. You're also the co-host of the Framework. Let's talk a little bit about that.
The Framework, we appreciate it. It's a Christian hip hop program. We started it right about 16 months ago now. We are syndicated, and which means we're playing in 4 different radio stations at the same time. We're blessed to be on air 7 days a week somewhere. It's a 1-hour program currently for most locations, but our Monday show is a 2-hour show where we specialize and focus on new music, artist interviews, and spoken word. My youngest sons, they write their own copy for that. They choose their own songs. They do their own intros. They even edit their own audio and video themselves. And I was able to kind of help them along with what we're looking for, but it's all about them and what they've actually been able to pour into it and make it themselves. It was something I wanted to develop for them to have, not for me to be the 50, 60, or 70-year-old dude doing Christian hip hop. It's just something for the youth to be a part of. So they like it. They don't give me any problems with producing it, and we produce it right here in our home.
Wow, that's amazing.
So where do you might have said this, your artists that you feature on the show?
We reach out to them on either TikTok, which is a lot of my younger sons, they're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm also connecting a lot here recently with the gentleman from God's House of Hip Hop, where they're bringing in the 2020 concert in 2020 Summerfest. I'm sorry, in LA over the next couple of weeks. So it'll be September 17th and 18th. So we're excited about connecting with them. So that they have 70 acts. We'll be able to have access to all 70 of those acts for interviews. We already play a lot of their music on the show. Shell T has been extremely instrumental in connecting us with Bay Area talent for interviews, for highlights, and we call it Framework takeovers, especially when the artists are releasing new music, when we really want to feature that new artist and their new music. And the coolest thing is for the interviews, my 13-year-old son, Jackson, he's our lead interviewer. That's what he loves to do. So we've been able to interview artists like, oh my goodness, we did, of course, Miles Minnick, Salachi Vaz, shout out to the Bay. Also been able to interview one of our favorites from New York, from actually she was from Buffalo, New York, which is oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank on her name right now. Oh my gosh. Come on, Lord, bring it back.
It'll come back to you.
AI the Anomaly. Thanks, Shell T on the backside. I don't know what it was like. I was such a fan that day. I was like, oh my gosh, we had her on cue. And I was in Atlanta for that one. And my 13-year-old Jackson was here at home on Zoom, and he didn't need me to help him at all because he sets up those calls all himself and writes his own questions, and he sets it up on his own. So that's what, as a proud dad moment, they're able to do and make this thing a part of their life and not just something I forced them to do, like a crazy parent.
Yeah, I know a couple of them.
Yeah, we force them sometime. Sometimes we have to do that. You either gonna play sports, you're gonna play a music instrument. I don't care which one you do, but that's what's gonna happen.
I
don't know, but it's all good.
It's all good.
It all paid off.
It did. They're in a good place.
Wow.
Yeah, I always wanted to find out what they're good at and what they like to do. And when I could find one of those two things, ideally they should either be polar opposites or something that works really well together. So that's what I want to make sure we focused on. And I told them, you all may not want to work in the family business. It may not fit you. But until you're 18 and on your own, this is what we'll do as a family. But we're always going to make a positive impact in the community. The Framework is where we're going to start. So even on our webpage, they actually do all of I'm teaching them to do all of the updates ourselves. I've created the page on my own. So we're really grassroots. We host our site right here in our home, right off of our own server. So there's no virtual, there's no waiting on anybody. It's all about us.
Wow, that's awesome. I love grassroots because we do a lot on, at that level too. So I totally understand. Wow. So you do both. You do Raising Men and Framework. Why do you do both? And
what's the difference?
Yes.
Well, the difference really is one is talk, right? When the kids really have an opportunity to just talk about their experience and really share their mind and share their thoughts on a topic. So that's what we do with the Raising Men show. And I don't see a lot of programs out there where we as parents spend a lot of time, whether it be programs or not, but we don't spend a lot of time as parents really talking to our kids and having it really make a difference to the world. So this is an opportunity where we can make that difference and really talk and communicate. So it's not something we script. It's not something we go to set out and we're going to fake it and be like some scripted reality show. It's just myself and my 4 younger sons just talking about a topic that I'll run by them. Hey, what about this topic? What about that topic? And go from there. The framework is different. It's a musical expression. I've always been looking for a way to show the kids that Christian music doesn't suck, because that's one thing that my 26-year-old son, my oldest son, told me. He said, Dad, I would listen to Christian music with you or gospel or whatever, but a lot of it sucks. And I don't believe it sucks, but that's his view. So to him, what he's listening to just didn't resonate with him, and just the word he chose was suck. But when I've been able to get Christian hip hop to him and my younger sons, they're like, I like it. It's very similar to what we're already listening to, and that's the key. And I don't have to worry about the lyrical content. I don't have to worry about the subject matter. I don't have to even worry about the message. So that for me makes a difference, because then when their friends are listening to it, or they're maybe singing the hooks, it's getting into their spirit, that positive message versus all the negativity that the world has. So why do it? It's necessary. It's essential, to use a term from our, COVID isolation days. It's essential that we spend the time with our kids. It's essential that we put them to work doing something positive, not just for our household, but for our world. So this is our offerings to the world.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is. And, I like what you said. It's almost like you're kind of meeting them where they are with the tools that you have, right? It's like, hey, I like this type of music. Well, okay, we're going to bridge that gap and do it the right way. So that's really good. That's good.
These are just starts for us. My goal is, I told them, you don't have to do Christian hip hop the whole time. You don't have to do on the talk shows your whole time. Create your own shows. We own our own server. We own our own web pages. I own the domain. So you can do anything that you put your mind to. That's why when we were funding the film in large part of the film, it was to remind them that they could do anything, even if they lost their mother or suffered some other tragedy. You could be president, or you could be an athlete, or you could be a business owner, or you could work at a gas station. And there's nothing wrong with any of those occupations. But I just needed them to know that they're not just relegated to one small corner of an occupation or a place to work, that their options were totally a God thing, totally unlimited.
Wow. That's so true. I raised my kids like, sky's the limit. Wherever you want to go, sky's the limit. Just do something you love and be passionate about it, and do it with excellence, because everything that we do, we need to do it in excellence. And if you're not liking what you do, then you're probably not going to produce excellence, because you really have to love it. And so that's important. And I like how you're growing with your family too. It's not like, you're like the head and you're calling all the shots, but you guys are like doing this thing together. Yeah. And that's the beauty of it all, doing something together with your boys, and healing and growing and helping other people. That's amazing.
Willie B, I say what's up to my cousin. He all the way out there in Texas. I ain't talked to that dude in a while. Well, yes, man, that's good. So what difference does it take to make a difference in the world today?
Well, it takes effort. It takes dedication. And it takes I used to hear people say an iron will, and I didn't really know what that really meant. There's always the classic way, this means you don't give up. Yeah, and you mentioned earlier that iron sharpens iron, but sometimes that's painful. And that's really what it takes as well. It takes the ability for you to hear the truth and to still want to continue to go forward, because sometimes the truth about what we're doing isn't good. Sometimes we just didn't do well. Sometimes things just didn't perform the way we wanted them to. And sometimes we just didn't try. And we need to be able to understand what motivates us, and what, and are we doing this for ourselves? Or are we doing it for others to see for some vain reason? And I need them to understand what they are doing in life and choose and then move in that direction. Because when they find that thing, that passion project that fuels them, that makes them get up in the morning no matter what, when there's nothing to eat in the refrigerator, this is still something that motivates them. When they got to go dig a ditch to pursue their dream. Sometimes you need someone to impact you in a negative way to drive you towards your purpose. So I need them to understand what their purpose is. But I, as a parent, can't give them their purpose. They have to be able to discover that on their own. So this is an opportunity for them to have tools and a trade in a way that shows promise. So many influencers out there today aren't doing many positive things for the community and for these young audiences. It's so much negativity. It's sex, drugs, alcohol, you name it, high numbers click just for the clickbait. I need these kids to understand that you can make a difference with that content that these content creators are doing and providing just by you saying yes or no. The power of your click makes a difference. So I need them to understand what this music and the lyrics and these images do to themselves, do to their mindsets, and to make them make that choice and make them understand that we are content creators. You are influencers now. Change your mindset. What do you want people to know you for? And that's where I've been really trying to get them to be challenged by.
Wow. That's good. That's good. Man, so to check out the show at the raisinmenshow.com, and then the framework is at theframewerk.com. If there's someone who wants to get in contact you or contact Craig, you can reach him at this email right here. Is this for musicians, or is this to participate in the framework, or the Raising Men show, or both?
It's for everything. It's any way that you want to contact myself or my family. That was always, I have emails for the framework as well, but I just find that Raising Men is the easiest way instead of having 15 million email boxes. And even if someone wants to reach out to you guys and say, hey, I missed the email addresses, or can I contact the number? Feel free. If you're referring them somewhere to me, feel free to even give them my phone number, because I would trust that you have vetted someone. You wouldn't send an axe murderer to my house to call me. We trust you to just give the numbers and stuff.
I would hope I don't know.
I'm going to drop that email in the chat. So if you guys want to reach out to Craig, wow, man, that was powerful. Yeah. This is really good, man. I thank you for all that you're doing with the men and raising them up and making a difference, and, you know, allowing them to discover their purpose. That's really good.
Yes. And we want to do something with you too. So if it's coming on your show and talking, or having Eric on there, that would be great. You know, somewhere along the line, God put us in this path. And so we may cross it again. You may come back on our show, but definitely I see something more
happening.
Yes.
For sure.
Awesome. That would be awesome. We definitely really be looking forward to it.
Yes.
Hey, Craig, thank you, man.
Do you have anything left you want to share with the listeners before we end our show?
Just want to tell everyone that, you know, well, of course, you guys first, thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for Shelty for just even thinking of us enough to have me on the show. And thank you for everyone for not giving up. You don't want to ever think that you can't do something, and don't let the world ever tell you that you're devalued. You're worth it. Your voice matters.
Yes.
Never give up. There it is again for the 100th and something time that comes up over and over on the show. Well, thank you, Craig, for being on the show. We're going to be going to commercial break. Right after commercial break, we're going to do the numbers up game, number 1 through 50. Make sure you guys have those numbers in the chat. One winner, $20. Amazon gift card.
Yes.
Yeah. So
thank you, Craig.
All right.
All the way up, turn it all the way up. To the max. All the way up, turn it all the way up. All the way up, turn it all the way up. All the way up, turn it all the way up. Tell him the brother calm down. Calm down. And fit a square with a round hole. Cause every time that I come around, I turn it as loud as it go. Sipping the rock, pink collide, or give me the lime. Ready or not, give me a sign if you want me to stop. Giving it to you a cappella, then music will drop. One at a time, singing a rhyme on the drop of a dime. It's God's time to shine, baby. I'ma break it down until it's liquid. Turn up, stir it up, call it biscuit. Hold up, I'm turned to the max. So loud, I got a deaf mute in the back. I'm not gonna do what it does. The first time that he heard the names on the track. All the way up, turn it all.
Welcome back, everyone. We were interviewing Craig Carlisle. Yeah. Man, I get so involved in these interviews that I keep forgetting to go on commercial break. Sorry, Shelty.
But it's all good. It's all good. Very interesting information. I mean, it was powerful. He's making a difference. He's changing lives. And so there's so much that he's doing. But we'll talk about that in a second because I know what you guys are waiting for.
Yes.
The numbers up, gang.
So this is your last chance. 10 seconds to put it in. I'm gonna shake this thing up because it
Seems like what?
It just seems like it needs to be shook up.
Okay. We're going to shake it up. Shake it up. Shake it up. Shake it up. All right. Here we go. There's a number right there. Let me go in. Man, I got to get in there.
All right. Are you ready?
Numbers. Ooh, man. We got some numbers popping up. Let's see. What's your number? What's your number?
It is B9.
Ooh, number 9.
Number 9.
Can't go over. Annette 24 over. Rose 22 over. Renata 27 over. Man, there's a lot of chat. 24, 36 over. 39 over. Wow. Let's see, 12 over. You're over. You put 2 numbers in. And 24 over. Man, yes. I think even Charles, he put 1 in somewhere. I thought I seen.
Charles or Craig?
Right, Craig.
Oh, yeah. My number is 25.
Did I say Charles?
Yes, you mess up names all the time. But anyway, wow. So that means, what does that mean? That means $30 next week.
Next week, $30
next
bucks.
Week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, that was really good. Thank you, Craig. Craig, for being part of our show. Thanks again. You know, a couple things that stuck out with me was, discovering your purpose. So, find out what your purpose is, and love to do it and enjoy doing it. And he said something too off screen earlier, and he said staying ready and never giving up. And one of those things, when he was saying that, he was talking about his radio show. And, it was someone came and he didn't get to talk about it, but they denied him. They didn't want him to be a part of it. And then he said, you know what, he's continuing to go after it and continue to do it. And boom, they called him and said, hey, you know what, we want you now. And so he never gave up and he stayed persistent and consistent. So great job.
Yeah. And, he said something too about patience.
Yeah.
That, he's learning to be patient in that moment, what Eric was talking about. And it's when you're patient is when you rely on God. That's when you rely on him during your wait period, during, whatever you need answered. You just have to be patient because God's always on time. He's never late and he does answer. So
sometimes it's hard to wait, but you know what? I mean, he waited and look at it now. Now he's syndicated and he's doing really well. So great.
Yeah. It was a great show.
Great show.
It was really a great show. I want to thank all the listeners out there for hanging on and playing these games with us and listening and commenting and participating. You know, it means a lot to the guests and to the other viewers, because people, you know, may not say what they want to say, but they'll see it. There was another thing too. He talked about purpose, you know, to find your purpose. And sometimes you need a coach or somebody to help you find your purpose. You know, of course, it's prayer and maybe meditation, but sometimes you need another person to help you coach you through finding your purpose. And I'm going to put a plug out there because my coach, Tiffany James, you know, look her up. She's been on our show before. That's what she does, is help people find their purpose, and, you know, life-changing for me. So, Tiffany James.
Check her out.
Tiffany
James. What's her website? Tiffany James. Just look her up. Google her.
Yes,
you can find anybody on Google.
I have it, you know.
So good.
Our show is almost over, and so look on our Workmind 209 Facebook page or our internet website, and her show is on there, so you can find it.
Check it out.
Yep.
YouTube, Workmind 209
with Tiffany James.
There is her website. How about that?
There you go. Encourage touch. Yes.
Touch.
Is it encouraging touch or encourage touch?
Sure, but there it is, right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Encourage touch.
All right. Thank you guys for being part of the show. You guys have been wonderful tonight, and we'll see you next week.
Yes.
On Tuesday.
Tuesday
at 6 o'clock.